to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milan. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Big Box Beverages, the world's tastiest portable punch, as seen on Shark Tank. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And hello and welcome on this fine Wednesday day, man. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley. And if you're watching, you know who I am, man. But it is good for you to be here. And I absolutely love today. I love today. This is a bye week, not only for the Mountaineers, but other teams as well. Our first guest, and that's Pat Biondo. I believe that Oregon, the football Ducks, have a bye week as well. But regardless of that, I know this guy. He's from Buffalo, man. And just, you get two Buffalo guys together, man. It's like you've been through the hard times in the winter. You've had the blizzards. You've seen the snow when you can't even see your hand because the snow is so intense and it's crazy. And I'm going to tell you, before I go ahead and bring him on here, though, I do have something that I want to show here. And that is, and it's nothing that he needs to be worried about backstage there because it's all good. Because you never know what you're going to get with me. But I am really, really proud of this, and I want to bring this out here because this is so cool. I think you're going to dig this, Patty. And I know it's Patrick, but we're going to call Pat today. I'll be cool about it. I'm going to blow this up, brother. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. Pat, I screwed it up because that's what I do.
They have a great stadium. If my wife and kids are watching, pack your bags. We're moving to Eugene, Oregon. This is heaven. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is the loudest stadium per person that I've ever been in my entire life.
Touchdown.
Wow, no, that's pretty cool right there. So let me just say it right now, man, for everybody to see. And Pat Biondo, he is the recruiting strategist, head director of recruiting of strategy for the Oregon football Ducks. Pat, how are you, my man?
Wolfman, I'm so pumped up to be here, bro. I know you've been on me to get on the show, and I'm really proud to be up here today. And love the intro video, man. It gave me some chills and some reminders of how special this place is out here.
It really is, man. And even I know that from way back here in the East Coast, and known that, and they've always said it's one of the craziest stadiums to play. Now, do me a favor. Go ahead and pronounce the correct way to say the stadium?
So it's Autzen Stadium.
Autzen Stadium. Where does that come from?
I am actually not quite sure, to be honest with you. I just know on game day that place is wild. It reminds me a lot. Obviously I went to West Virginia, and it reminds me a lot of Morgantown, the way down, surround them to no end, and it's fun being out here so far.
Well, I bet it is, man. I mean, so cool. All right, tell us about this guy right here. Look at you. If you want to follow Pat now, again, we got to go back. And before I actually do it, we got to go back and we got to say, West Virginia, you were with Mike Carey before heading out to Oregon. And, do you miss West Virginia at all?
It's Morgantown there, and the entire state met some. It's kind of the cliche thing, the state, the most important resource there is in my mind, and still have relationships with the back in West Virginia summer for a couple of days, just hanging up. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. All right, you know what, Pat? Go ahead. I'm going to tell you something. Go ahead and come back on, please, and check it out. All right. So that's Pat. I got to show you this, but Pat, I got to tell you, I met him, man, when I first came back to West Virginia. Here we go. Let's see if we got it now. How you doing?
I'm back.
All right. Very good. Very cool, man. We lost you for a second there. All right. Real quick. Once more time. West Virginia, relationships there. Do you miss WVU?
Yeah, miss it a lot. The people there were super special to us. We had a great thing going there when we were there, and the biggest resource in that state is the people. Between the donors, the fans, the people I work with, definitely will always have a special spot in my heart for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this guy.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Dan Lanning, man, what do you say about him?
Man, so I had the pleasure of getting here kind of early on in his career. Being a first-time head coach, and really seeing him set the culture of what he kind of wanted Oregon to be. He didn't come in there with plaster words on the side of the building and said, "Hey, these are going to be our kind of our DNA traits," right? He wanted to know his team and get used to his team. They needed to learn him, but he needed to learn them too as well. So it's one of those things where you really saw the culture being built, his intensity, his passion, his day-to-day work ethic is by far some of the most impressive, not even on the football field with their guys, off the football field with player development and things they do in the community, but to recruiting too as well. And to have a great program, I'm not surprised what we've been doing and what we can accomplish in the future. But just an energetic, passionate man that is that knows football and is a great person.
What makes the Oregon Ducks and Eugene so special out there that people say, it's a bit of heaven, just like almost heaven, West Virginia? What makes it? You've been to both places now. That's kind of cool. You get to judge here. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, you're looking out of my window right now. You got the fall foliage in full effect with the sun shining, and it's definitely got some beautiful landscapes throughout the entire state. I think the cool thing about this place is, not only do they have a great institution, a great university, but life after football options too, and obviously, have some big alumni from Nike and Mr. Knight and what he's done for this place, not only for the football program but for the entire city of Eugene and the state of Oregon, is definitely a thing that is not common across the country, but has definitely made us kind of a little bit different in that sense. And he pours his love into this place, and you can kind of see it from everything that we have. Have you met Phil Knight? Yes, I have. He's around a lot. He comes to all the games. He loves being around at practice occasionally. But he's our biggest fan for sure, and he's around a lot, and just a great man and what he's done for us here at Oregon. Well, I realize all that he's done, and obviously he's influenced it so much. But is the man cool? Yes, yeah, no, he's really cool. He's as for as much as he's accomplished, and like the movie came out and everything like that, he is like the biggest, like when I say that he loves the Ducks and just wants everyone to be successful around him, like it's infectious. When you're around successful people like that and around the building, you kind of feel that energy you get from him, and 100%, man, he's just a really cool guy.
What have you learned since coming to Oregon that you would point out and say, like, this is like a really cool thing about the culture? I'm not even getting into football yet, not getting into the program, but about the culture out there in Eugene.
Yeah, I think, first was my first time living out on the West Coast, so, like you said earlier, Wolf, man, being from Buffalo, a far cry from where I kind of grew up, and kind of learning the different cultures out here, and it's definitely different, but at the same time, it brings a bunch of different people from all different ways of life, as most places are, and come together and see them support the Ducks and being kind of that mainstay throughout. We got great food, great breweries out here. We got a lot of different things out here that kind of remind me of Morgantown, a lot of mom and pop places that you want to go into, and just a great spot to be. And I'm really, really happy to be out here in Eugene.
Is it a college town solely?
Oh yeah. We are a college town. It's got a lot of different it's like Eugene and Springfield are kind of like the two cities that are nearby, and between both of them, kind of a little bit bigger than Morgantown, but at the same time have that small town feel, almost call it like a college city. It's got a little city downtown area, a little bigger than Morgantown, but at the same time, though, it's got a lot of eclectic and cool places to go to.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know what? I'm coming out there. You know what? And you're hosting me. And you know what? I will get green. Now, I didn't have green there, so this is Rich Rod's playing tonight. So I got the old Jack staying up there and supporting our Mountaineers as we always do, and always will till the day I pass away one day, whatever that may be, hopefully a long time from now. But we will always support. But Jack State's playing tonight. Let everybody know that. Coach Rich Rodriguez, Mountaineer brother, man, and it's great. Well, Timothy, he says Oregon is a beautiful state. I think I have to agree there. A lot of family comes from there on the wife's side, and it's where Oregon State, Washington State, where they all live and grown up. So I get it. It's the Northwest, and it's pretty darn cool. A little secluded. But when you go ahead and you are in the Pac-12, which is the last year, and all these teams are playing so well, but not quite as well as the Oregon Ducks, I would say right now. Maybe you could say USC is there, but overall teams that I've seen, when I look at that, Oregon's number 8 in the country right now. And what's going on? How competitive are you? Do you expect to be in the college football playoffs this year? Is it a hope? I'm sure it's a hope.
Yeah, so for us in our program, we kind of take that 20-mile march mentality, right? So every single day we're getting 20 miles better. It doesn't matter the circumstances, doesn't matter who we're playing. We're always going to go 20 miles. Just if it's favorable, we're not going to go 80. We're not going to, if it's an easier team, we're not going to let them off the gas. We're going to go 20 miles, and that's how it is for us. We're like you said earlier, Wolf. We're on a bye this week, and our theme this week is a work week. We're getting back to work to make sure that we're getting better, and it's been a lot of fun to see. I got a big matchup next week. I got at Washington, the number 7 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a huge matchup for us. But we're just taking it day by day, Wolf. Obviously we always have goals to get to, but at the same time, though, we're taking this day by day, game by game, and next one up is University of Washington.
Yeah, obviously the Huskies, right? That's a big deal and a big battle. But Pat, I never heard of a 20-mile march. That's new. Is that a landing thing? Is that
It's a thing where there's people are going across. I think it was either the North Pole or South Pole, and when the mentality going into it was like, hey, we're gonna go as many miles as we can. So it might go 80 one day, when the situations got hard, they only went 5 miles, right? Well, that was one group. The other group that went 20 miles a day got there a lot quicker, because they stuck to their goals, stuck to what they needed to do each and every day. It wasn't because of the situations were favorable or everyone was feeling healthy or feeling sick. It didn't matter. They're going to go 20 miles, and that's kind of our mentality. Even though you might be banged up a little bit from practice or from games, we're still going to do that 20 miles each and every day. So that's kind of been the mentality that we've instilled this year, to continue that 20-mile march day in, day out.
Wow, that's impressive. I have not heard that one, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to steal it from you. This is from the Oregon Ducks. All right. Okay, so I don't even want to. Let's talk about the players right now that are really producing for the team. And offensively, who are they?
Obviously quarterback Bo Nix, the transfer from Auburn in the Heisman race. We did a cool little Heisman campaign for him kind of throughout the country. Just the ultimate leader for the team. Just goes in every day, day in, day out, goes to work, and it kind of shows on the football field on Saturdays. He works hand in hand with our offensive coordinator. They're on the same page and kind of really makes us going, And then after that, we got a wide receiver, Troy Franklin's been here for a few years, really talented, got scored touchdowns, can kind of do it all for us. And then a running back, Bucky Irving, just another mainstay of getting the ball on the field on Saturdays, averaging I think almost 10 yards a carry right now. Just really have an explosive season for us, So those are the kind of the main pieces. But if you go 1 to 11 out there on our football field, they all bring something really big to the table, and that's kind of why we're having success, because we don't like highlighting a lot of individual achievements. We're a big team, and one of our DNA traits is connection. And even when they talked to Bo. Yeah, he's in the Heisman race. So they're doing all this stuff about Bo, but Bo's big thing is about the team. How can you make the team better? And I think that's important for us. But on offense, those are kind of like the main three guys that they're putting a lot of points up there. And obviously, you can't forget the offensive line, Wolf. You know what I mean?
No, you can't forget the Hawks.
You know what I mean? Those are the guys that make it all happen for Bo in the running game, and they're doing a great job up there too. Led by our new offensive line coach, Alik Terry, does a great job of getting those guys ready every week, and super excited to see kind of each week how much we develop.
Yeah, I'm sure. Why is it that Oregon is always gets those super duper, creative plays? Let's just put it that way. Always doing something creative, and that's just not. I mean, they've been doing that for quite a while now. I mean, well, what is it? Is it the air up there?
No, I think you're just trying to be something different, right? Try to be different. How are you going to keep defenses on edge? Obviously these coaches watch a lot of film and game plan great, but if they see something they haven't seen yet before that might come out of a weird formation or different shift, I think it puts the defense a little bit more of a strain and a little more questions, because a lot of great coaches in this league and in this country they work long hours, and they put a lot of time in, and if we can kind of do something a little different, throw a little wrinkle in there, Wolf, and it works, why not?
Absolutely. All right, so flipping to the defensive side, who's your standouts?
Yeah, so defensively, we've got a lot of good players led up front. My name, Brandon Dorless, just does a great job for us. Gets the quarterback, can play kind of everywhere across the line for us. Got a lot of position flex, and it's always led up by front. When you get pressure on the quarterback up front between Popo and Taki in the run game, Jordan Birch outside too as well. We got some guys up front that can really hold the line, and it helps out our secondary for sure. And secondary wise, we got two safeties out there that are elite, probably some of the best in the country, in my opinion. Evan Williams and Tysheem Johnson, both transfers that came in and doing a lot of good stuff for us. And then we got two corners that are good too. Kyrie Jackson, transfer from Alabama, been locked down this year and kind of took the place of Christian Gonzalez, who was drafted by the Patriots. So we've done a good job of kind of making sure that we got guys kind of at each level that can make plays and kind of running the defense that our defense coordinator Tasha Poy's put in and has done a really good job with.
Yeah, absolutely. I they're fun to watch too. I mean, I watched them, and you pulled out that Texas Tech win, and it was a good win, and things weren't clicking at first, but you got it there, and that's just a sign of a good team. And let's go ahead and move this on, because this is very interesting. What was it like in the whole transitional period? The Pac-12 has struggling to get a TV thing, all the talk, everybody talking, right? Everybody had an idea. Everybody had a source telling them it was going to be this, that. And then, it's not there. And you had to wait for a while to find out what was going to happen. How intense was it? Were you concerned? I mean, maybe concerned, but were you really worried? Or was it like, everything's going to be all right?
Yeah, to me, it's like, we we knew regardless of where we ended up, whether what conference it was, if it was ended up staying in the Pac or going to the Big Ten or wherever it might be, we were going to be a relevant regardless, right? Obviously, recruiting for us, we knew that we're Oregon, right? We have a powerful brand with the O and what we do, but obviously once we got that home in the Big Ten, it kind of eased a lot of people's minds, especially in the recruiting world, but we haven't talked about it that much since it happened. We just know what we can do because we're here to win a national championship. We're recruiting to that standard, not just the Pac-12, but to a national level, right? So we want to compete with those teams that have been there before on a recruiting level because we know if we have the best players, we have a chance to win that big one. And that's kind of the mindset that we have. And I think going to the Big Ten not only does that, but it kind of expands our national prowess even more, and that's what kind of makes my job exciting and fun and kind of looking forward to the future a little bit too as well. But, obviously this last year in the Pac-12 has been phenomenal, some great teams out there, and they've done a great job of really kind of, coming together this last year to really put a great product on the field.
Yeah, and it's interesting that this actually the Pac-12, the last year of these teams being in it, could be one of the best collectively of all the teams because they're so strong in so many areas in the game of football. But last question about the Big Ten. Is everybody excited, or for the most part, everybody excited out there to be joining the Big Ten because it was the best option for you with the Pac-12 being down?
Yeah, I think so. I can speak for myself. I think it's definitely exciting to come into a premier conference like the Big Ten, and we'll see how things go. But yeah, until that happens next August, we're definitely looking to finish up our career in the Pac-12 here on a high note.
Yeah, now let me ask you this: where do you fly in and out of out there?
Eugene, Oregon. We got an airport right here in Eugene that is used. It's actually really nice for us. We have a lot of commercial airlines that come into as well from kind of all over the country. So bigger airport than you would think right here in Eugene. So it's really, really convenient.
Okay. All right. So, Betty, let's go to this. This is what I really wanted to get at, man. Okay. Director of Recruiting Strategy. What does that mean?
You know what? It's funny. Titles are kind of a funny thing that we kind of do. I think the biggest thing for us and for me in my role is we have a huge team. We have a big team around me that we all kind of work together. Very, very little hierarchy here. We have a great team. Personnel side is run by our Tyler Dean, who kind of does all the evaluation of high school players and transfer portal guys and that kind of thing. And then beside me, we got Lydia Gibbs, who's our director of on-campus recruiting, and Brittany Legros, also just joined us on staff here a little bit ago to help out in on-campus recruiting. And then we got JR Mawala, does all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Yeah, so for me, it's like I just help out where I can. Well, if you know what I mean. It kind of brings back to my operations days when I was at women's basketball. Wherever we need to be organized and to make sure we have the right plan in place is kind of my role. And to me, it's a lot of fun. Whether it goes from itineraries making to just doing random stuff to make sure that our program is successful, and that's kind of my role here. And we know a kid's committing here in a little bit, like, okay, how can we sign this kid? What do we need to do from a creative standpoint when they come to campus? What haven't we done yet? And just making sure we're doing things a little bit differently, right? Because every time a recruit comes to campus across the country, they're going to academics, they're meeting with the strength coach, they're meeting with nutrition, they're doing all these things, right? But what can separate you from the rest of the schools? And that's kind of my role and my job to make sure that we're doing the best of the best. And it's a lot of fun, and Coach Lanning puts a lot of not to say pressure, good pressure. Pressure is a privilege, but good pressure to make sure that we're having elite visits, and that's kind of my role to make sure that happens.
Now, if you look at the screen, I have most defensive blue chip commitments, Florida, and it's you guys, and that's pretty impressive, especially when your title is Director of Recruiting Strategy. Somebody must be doing a good job.
Yeah, no, I think it just goes to the team and Coach Lanning and that's what the staff have done. For us, it's big team recruiting. We're never it's never an individual, getting credit for something. It's all about us together, and I think that's kind of what we do as a staff is kind of our team is too as well in terms of who gets credit. And definitely not a man to take any here for sure, but we've done a good job on our visits, and it's been exciting to be a part of a special place like this that you can get the full package academically on the football field. Life after football. I mean, there's not a better place in the country to do it right here in Eugene.
Yeah, okay, that's so cool. Take me on a brief tour of how you do a recruiting. When you welcome a high school or transfer portal young man, and what are they saying first?
Yeah, they're going to see our facilities first. We have some unique facilities right here that are kind of, they might be 10 years old, but they look like they were built yesterday, and we're always continuing to add on to as well. So I think that's the first thing they see, just see the amount of resources that are put into here, and we talk about kind of living off the land, right? Living off the land, and the land here is not only the buildings, facilities, it's the people inside of it too as well. So when a recruit comes on campus, we are going to make sure they get to meet everybody. From it may not be their position coach, but they're going to meet the analysts, they're going to meet the students, they're going to meet everybody involved with this place. From the kitchen staff. The kitchen staff will say, "Hey, I love that young man that came," and to me, that's kind of the community and connection that we have with everybody that makes us different, and makes us a lot of fun. So from there, obviously do all the campus tours and things like that, and the academic support that we have. Obviously photo shoots were cool here too as well, of all the different uniform combinations that we might be able to produce for photo shoots. A lot of fun, and obviously if it's game day, they get to experience Autzen Stadium, which is in itself is kind of unique. And one of the cool things, Wolf, I don't know if you know this, but after the third quarter, they play the shout song. And Bills fan, after the score, oh yeah. So here at Oregon, they play the entire song. So I remember my first time walking out there and end of the third quarter, and everyone's going wild. I was like, I know I'm home when I heard that.
Are you serious?
You serious?
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. You gotta take a look at it one day, Wolf. It's a lot of fun. I'll send you a video, but yeah, and I think after that, just being around us and the staff, and then recruits obviously being there with their future teammates too as well on the team, getting to know them is always a huge helpful part of it too as well. So
yeah, let me ask you this, Pat. What did you think when you first saw the facilities there? Like you walked in and said, "Man, I'm working here now." Whoa!
I pinched myself, Wolf. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I pulled in for the first time, and you literally you pull underneath the building to park your car, and there's a beautiful mural right on the side of the parking garage, and you're like, "Where am I?" And they call it the Bat Cave, and it really feels like you're a Batman. You know what I mean? And it's like you go up these elevators, and the details in the elevators are incredible. So then you walk up here and you see how much space we have, and how much thought and time was put into this building. Super incredible. And I remember being here for the first month. I was getting lost every day. I'm like, where am I going? But obviously been here for a little bit now and know my way around. And it's kind of cool when new people come that haven't seen it yet and they see it for the first time. They're like, this is amazing. And you're like, yeah, because you kind of take it for granted when you walk in a place every day. And you're like, yeah, this place is kind of amazing,
Absolutely. All right. So last question here. I'm gonna let you go, brother. But listen, because you can tell, I love. Such a cool place, and there's so much history up there too. I mean, it's just so many cool things. But it's a new day, a new game, and you are director of recruiting strategy. Obviously, all the Coach Lenny, he's very heavily involved. You're involved with that. But how much is the game changing, and how are you going to go forward, and how do you look at it about going forward? Are you like, I got to be creative here? We got to do things that are different than others. NIL, transfer. I mean, it's all crazy.
Yeah. I think our roles in the recruiting and personnel department have changed tremendously over even the last 4 or 5 years. And for us, we got to be on top of everything, whether it be a transfer portal kid, whether it be NIL, you know what I mean? And we think that, we've had success in the portal since we've been here. We're going to have success in the NIL place, market. It's like, what can we continue to be doing different, right? And what can we do? And obviously having success on the football field helps too as well. When you have success on the football field, it makes everyone's jobs just a tad easier, but also kind of elevates the expectation. And for us, we love the expectation of having successful teams, and we're going to do everything we can, to make sure that we do. And it's a lot of fun being here at a spot like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so Pat Biondo, follow him. I'm telling you, all you youngins out there, and you think you might want to go to Oregon or go out there, go out and visit. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of anybody. I'm happy for you. And I got to tell you, in a non-condescending way, brother, I'm proud of you because you know how much I love you. And it's amazing that you're out there. Director of Recruiting Strategies, really happy for you. And last thing here, Timothy Green says Oregon has really good seafood. Is that true in Eugene?
Oh yeah, they got good seafood out here. But by the coast, we're about an hour from the coast, so we got a lot of good seafood too as well. You can't beat the food, can't beat the landscapes, the mountains, the coastline. It's impressive.
Okay. Well, hey, best of wishes to you, man. I'll check in with you later, but everything you're doing up there, man, best of wishes, congratulations, and continued success.
All right. Thanks, Wolfman. Go Bills.
Oh, Josh Allen, baby. Out of here. See you, man. All right. Boy, I love that, man. Pat Biondo, what a special dude. He is Buffalo. Buffalonians, they keep their heart, man. They might be off at a cool place like Oregon or West Virginia, wherever it may be, but they keep their heart for the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres. Yep, I got a hat to prove it already. Well, here we go. Listen, so now we're going to have Darryl Prue come out, WVU's resident specialist hooper, WVU Hall of Fame, DP. What's up, DP?
What's up, Dale? Dale, you might not be jealous, but I'm jealous. Imagine all the Nike stuff I can get out in Oregon.
Oh my gosh! He's just all over it, man. Man. Think about it. I'm just totally nowadays you can get so much gear from Power 5, but multiply that times 5 with Nike, right? When you're right there at Eugene. Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. The facilities, you said that they go into the back cave down there. They have to go up so they park underneath. I mean, just absolutely crazy. And I don't know if you heard it backstage, but he said Phil Knight's really cool. I don't know.
I've heard that. If you know Phil Knight, you get a lot of different kind of Nike stuff.
Very good. Hey, listen, man, let's take this here. Let's hear from Abby Pearson right now, and let's give Parmar's due.
Hi, I'm Abby Pearson from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when I'm back home, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Look at this doggone right off the bat. The man, the myth, the legend. What's up, DP?
What's up, Timothy Green?
Man, you just keep continually pissing me off. Kelly,
what's up, Kelly?
Oh, very good, man.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming. It's all right. Listen, now we go from Eugene, Oregon, to Washington, D.C., and is it D.C. or Virginia?
I'm actually in Maryland right now. I'm at home, so I'm in Fort Washington, Maryland. About a half a mile, right behind the Washington Harbor over here.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a pathway down the street in the woods. I could walk, probably get to it right there. So, but I'm not walking through the woods no more.
You know what? You don't want to be up there like in Eugene, man? Up there?
When I was younger, I used to walk all through those woods. And I remember I seen a cannon, because along the Potomac was, the George Washington had the fights and stuff. So it was an old cannon there. And the Fort Washington Park has more of displays of, what happened. But over here was an old cannon. One time when I was little, and I saw it. But I don't like critters, so the older I got, more likely I don't like critters more.
Well, so I can translate for everybody. The word is critters. He's saying critters,
snakes, and what else is going on over there?
Who was that you wanted to go eat possum with down there?
That was Herbie. That was Herbie. Herbie and Steve Berger. Herbie Brooks and Steve Berger. No.
I know. I know they like it down there in southern West Virginia. I ain't no possum. I don't know, man. Well, no. Possum. Well, that's what we're talking about here. And, and how the team's coming together. Josh Eilert, he just had his second press conference yesterday, and Jesse Edwards came on. So I just want to introduce everybody here to a little bit of Jesse Edwards and get an idea of what you're thinking when you hear him talk.
What nobody wanted at the start. It wasn't the way you picture things when you came here, but like I said, it's been a really impressive. I think the way that everybody's really picked it up after that, the reason I came and the reason I think most guys signed up for this was still there because it was the rest of the guys. It was a winning team. It was and it's up to us, carry it into a new era, if you will.
Okay, DP. So he's coming out. He's gotta say the right things, and he may mean the right things, and mean it there. But he did lose. I mean, he lose a lot of their team, and I think he's just putting a good look at that. What do you think about that?
I mean, he has to do the company stuff now. You know what I mean? Like, he's here. He left a situation. The coach left, and he came here. And another coach left. But nowadays things are a little different with the NIL. You know what I mean? So it's you can negotiate now. Like these guys are more like pro athletes, and the athletes have more say than the schools do, because you don't want to lose them.
Yep, no doubt about it. So you got Kelly McCord said he ate a possum once in Webster Springs, and oh no, he doesn't eat it. Oh, he doesn't eat it. Oh, I thought he said he ate one in there. All right, no, I am wrong.
He gonna get you. He gonna get you.
58 years and he's never eaten a possum. Well, that's just crazy. Herbie would tell you you're missing out.
I'm with y'all, fella. Might have been a raccoon.
Might have been a raccoon.
It might have been a raccoon. It was something.
It was critter.
2-3 zone guy. You played your whole career 2-3 zone, and now you're playing man-to-man. How's that transition been?
I mean, it's definitely been 4 years of 2-3 zone, so it's getting used to a little. Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course I played like man before that for most of my life, so it's still like in there. It's just getting like the new. What was ever happened in the last 4 years of man defense and a lot of new play sets, whatever. Getting used to that, so it's definitely some adjustments in there.
Okay, so he's talking about the 2-3 zone. Been doing it at Syracuse for 4 years, and now it's not that. At least not the majority of it. What you say?
Well, what's going to happen? A lot of teams is going to pull them out to the pick and roll, and they're going to pick and pop their guy. You know what I mean? So now they're going to see how he reacts to it, how he plays it. It's different. Sometimes you got to help and go back to your man. And if you got a guy that can shoot it and put the ball down on 1 or 2 dribbles, it's going to be a problem for him because he's not used to moving his feet out there. Not saying he can't do it. Just Josh talked about it a lot in his first press conference. So evidently it's an issue. So that's why you don't give out your own scout report before you start playing.
Where's it's dumb.
I'm curious, when you kind of look at the roster, it's almost basically a 50-50 split on guys born internationally versus guys born in the United States. Does that kind of make things interesting at all? I don't know if it's really that case at many other schools.
It's more than that at Syracuse for sure. And I think out here you guys mostly have had like mostly American teams too. I think it's not been like this. So yeah, it's fun though. Like everybody's got different cultures, different backgrounds.
Well, hey, listen, you went ahead and you played overseas. What was it like for you to have to deal with that? Because it's a good question, actually, that this is a 50-50 team of overseas, but you played on that. So what was it like for you and the chemistry that you had to deal with?
Before I played overseas, I had Homer Harley and Wade Smith and Wayne Yearwood, Canada and the Virgin Islands. So got a little bit of that. And I had to play with a guy in high school that was from the Virgin Islands. So, it's for them it's different now, because when I went overseas, it was more of a language barrier. You might have an interpreter, you might have 1 or 2 guys that speak broken English, and you're trying to figure out their, English. They're trying to figure out my Spanish or whatever country I'm in. But now it's more, universal. These guys are learning English more than they learn in their own language over there now. So I think it's good cultural wise. I think, it brings a different perspective. The guys from overseas are more, I think they're a little bit more mature because they're away from home. So they handle things a little differently than you say Americans do, and because of the maturity. But I don't think it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. No, okay, I don't either. Jesse, I think I like this guy. I mean, he's very affable. I mean, he's very friendly. I don't know how he's going to be man to man, but I mean, he seems like he's got a good idea. And he says, he obviously when he's growing up in the Netherlands, they're Dutch. He's a total Dutch boy, he said, but he totally played man. So maybe it won't be so bad to go back to 2-man from the 2-3. We'll see about that.
No, he was a very good player at Syracuse. He's definitely an upgrade from what we had last year. You know what I mean? So that's the plus. I think that's why they brought him in, because he was a big upgrade. No offense to Jimmy Bell and anybody else that was there. His numbers, and he was consistently, putting up good numbers. You know what I mean? I don't care if he played man or zone. You still have to rebound. You still have to score. You still have to, do other things, and he did it.
Very true. And I wish the best for him because I really like him. I think there's one more here.
Anyway, I mean, were you looking forward to that, to seeing what it would be like and what was playing for Jim like?
Yeah.
What he's talking about being forward is that Bob Huggins, I cut this off, but Bob Huggins is not there now. So he was looking forward to it, and now he has to deal with him not being there. That's the question.
No, for sure. Like at that point, I would have had 2 Hall of Fame coaches on my resume. So definitely, I was kind of devastated when it happened. Of course, playing for Bayonne was a great learning experience. Really, like next to Huggs, like he's one of the legends of the college game. So.
What do you think about that, D?
I mean, you can't go wrong with those 2 coaches. You know what I mean? You go from one to the other. There's no drop off. You know what I mean? The only thing is different. Syracuse won 1 championship, and he hasn't won one yet, but he was close. So, he won a lot of games. You know how to win. And I think, it's like apples and oranges. You might like apples more than you like oranges, but they're both great. You know what I mean? So. And they're great for you. I think he's he put it in in a great perspective, and what I respect about him, he didn't jump to leave right away. He didn't put his name in the portal. He stuck it out.
Yep, he sure did. How about this? Mike Rollins says we can't get off this possum thing. EP, did you actually see Steve and Herbie eat possum? I live in Beckley for over 35 years, and I didn't hear of anyone eating possum, but he's seen, I'm taking it, that eating groundhog. Is there a difference between groundhog and possum to you? Those are what you say critters, right? How do you say critters again for me?
They're all rodents. They're all rodents to me.
Oh, say critters now.
So look, I didn't see him actually eat it, but Herbie told me and Chris Brooks many a time that he's eating raccoons and possums and stuff. So I believe him. He wouldn't lie to me. And I wouldn't go to his home. I ain't go to his home until I was a grown up and I had my own car. I could leave and go somewhere and go to McDonald's.
That's a true story, by the way. You would not go down there with him. You did not want to go back home with them until you could actually be able to escape and they were going to start eating possum.
Exactly.
Critters. There we go. Josh Eilert is yesterday his press conference. I cut it way down. There's a lot of questions he is fielding. Only his second one. They had practice 7 days now, but he's already got personnel issues, and we know about the Jose Perez. But this is what he had to say, and we'll hear a couple things about it.
Jose Perez situation.
The student privacy laws. I can't get into all that. I'm proud of Jose for coming in here and finishing his degree. He got his undergraduate degree here at West Virginia, and certainly that's a priority for student athletes to get that degree. So I'm really proud of the fact that he got that, but I can't go any further than that.
Okay, here we go. So Perez in his statement mentions that there is an issue with him not attending study hall. Perez, who enters his NCAA eligibility, goes in detail about committing back to interim head coach Josh Eilert. And this is from quotes from Jose Perez. Give me your word to come back. I went to bat for you in all meetings, went behind the scenes to get recruits, recruited, hosted every player since I've been here. Then get thrown to the street like a critter. That animal says there. All right, so 25 years old as a grad student in undergrad classes after I graduated. Never accepted being put in undergrad classes, but people wanted me eligible. Only disagreement was not going to study hall, and that's where the decision was made. Nowhere else. Literally nowhere else to go. Don't make it seem like I'm the bad person because I truly wanted to play here and was one of the reasons I came back here because the boss gave me his word he would have my best interest. Now I'm once again entering a phase of depression, and I can't play the sport I love. It's been 2 years since I suited up and still decided to come back. Good luck with nothing but the best to Mountaineer Nation. A lot in that, DP. And, I'm not sure. I don't know how much to take. I don't know the whole situation. But what's your take on it?
So I got sources. I have sources everywhere. And I'm going to talk about
That's why I have you on the show.
I got sources. So my sources said last year, he NIL deal was maybe roughly $100 to $200 something thousand. Okay, he couldn't play. You get that. This year, you put your name in the portal after the Huggy situation. They upped it. I heard it up to close to $400,000. And you can't go. I want to cuss. You can't go to study hall. You can't hold this man hostage. I don't care how new he is. You don't hold that man hostage. We talk about Josh. We don't know what he's going to do, but you can't hold that man hostage because you're 25 years old, still in college. If it's to keep you eligible, it's to keep you eligible. Get another degree in something else. $400,000. I would have been a doctor. I would have been a mathematician, whatever I needed to be for $400,000 just for 1 year. Just for 1 year? Like, come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, sometimes, it's easy to put it on Josh because Josh is new. But also, you get rid of you see, he's a bad apple. I heard he wasn't going to study hall. He had to do the punishment for study hall. He had to push the tire and whatever. He wouldn't do it. He wanted to show up when he wanted to show up. When it's time for him to show up, he didn't show up. That's not Josh. That's a kid that's trying to hold him hostage, thinking okay, Battle's not playing. That's my position. I'm the only one at this position that's probably good enough to play it. I'm going to do what I want to do. No. This is what's wrong with the NIL. $400,000. You're making more than 3 of the assistants put together. And you think you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't work that way.
$400,000, and you haven't even made a basket.
Right, for the gold and blue.
Yeah.
Not a basket.
No, for the gold and blue is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did not. That's first for I'm hearing that. You know what? Then kudos to Josh.
Yes. Josh did what he was supposed to do.
Oh, like we see it. That's the case, and you call him a kid. He's 25 years old. He's not a kid.
Right.
He's a
grown man.
I know you're not saying that, but the reality is that he's 25 years old, and he's
maybe 26 now, from what I'm hearing.
He was one of those kids in 7th grade. We weren't sure he's supposed to be in 9th grade or 10th grade.
Right.
Because the documents were.
I hit my prime as a pro at 26, and it's only like 4 or 5 years after that I'm going to, you're done.
All right. Well, okay. So good. I mean, I like this, man. This is why I have you on the show. You actually bring value. There we go.
You need me to say something, or you're?
I'm waiting for this to go.
Oh.
Where is it here? There we go. That's a big pause right there, man.
Yeah.
Curious.
Here we go.
Decision for you that you could handle any number of ways. Not critical at all. Just curious what you thought about handling the first time where something like that's popped up and you have to make a call.
Well, I mean, I'm in charge of this basketball program and leading this basketball program. So, like I told all of our guys, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of everybody in the program, whether that be myself, the assistant coaches, all those players that are looking at me for leadership. I'm going to make the right decisions for the best interest of everybody. And that's the way I look at it.
I thought that was impressive, Dave, because that's the first time I've heard him say, it's me. And I'm going to go ahead and make this decision, and I'm going to go ahead and do what's best for this program. Your take on that?
I mean, the guy probably pissed him off now. You know what I mean? So he had to put his foot down. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about before is, I talked to this guy, talked to this guy, talked to this guy. Now, okay, you're getting on my damn nerves. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You help, but you still have to do what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, like if you don't take care of this now, in December, in January, this is going to be a bigger problem because it's going to be more people, more players. acting the way they're going to act.
Well, you don't even have that many players, and you don't even have a hierarchy, reality of authority. Do you really on this team? Do you really have a hierarchy right now with a guy like Jesse Edwards coming in, fifth-year guy, a guy that's very talented, and is he has no hierarchy. For when I'm talking about, I say hierarchy, I'm talking about guys that have been here that are established, right? I mean, there is none of there. So I think on a team would hurt it even more, would it not?
Yeah, I think a lot more. You're correct. I think, I don't know Jesse personally, but he did play at a high level. With Syracuse playing the ACC, he's probably the only one that really played at a high level that came, and played a lot and was good. So he does have some leadership qualities. Europeans are usually laid back. I don't know if he does that, if that's his character. And everybody else is a question mark. I'm hoping Jesse Edwards is that guy. Doesn't going to need to be, but usually bigger guys like that's from Europe aren't. You know what I mean? So, we'll see how this shapes out. And maybe, that's why Jesse was there at the interview instead of any other guy that we picked up. But he's been a 3-4 year starter at Syracuse in the ACC, played well. He might have made one of the all ACC teams. I don't know which one. And, he's the only one that has those kind of accolades.
Yep. There we go.
Let me ask you this, and we'll make it hypothetical, but Jose said that it involves study hall, and I'm not going to ask you if that's what it involved or not, but on a basis of setting up team rules and the likes, you got a kid who came to school, you say you're proud, he graduated, he got his degree. If indeed study hall was involved in that, I mean, a 25-year-old guy who's got a degree, does he have to go to study hall?
Not going to get into that. I mean, I talked about the non-negotiables in the first team meeting, and there's a lot of non-negotiables, and I wasn't going to compromise the integrity of the program and the culture of the program. So that's where I'm going to leave it. We're moving forward. We got a great group of guys and doing everybody else in the roster really doing everything the right way, and we're going to reward those guys, and we're going to move forward.
Well, that really sounds like what you're talking about, Dean. I play that, just to continue that, because it sounds to me like he really was going. It wasn't a study hall issue. It was, conforming to the program.
No, you're not going to study hall. That's not conforming as everybody else is going. You're 25 years old. That's your issue. You're still a part of West Virginia University. West Virginia University basketball is going to move on with you or without you. You just let him go. And so now you're saying he's a professional athlete. He's not a professional athlete. He's getting paid like a professional athlete, but he has to go to school. I also heard he wasn't going to classes. He was failing classes. So what kind of precedence are we setting if we let the guy not go to class, not go to study hall, but we allow him to be on the team when everybody else on the team is doing everything they're supposed to be doing? That's not fair, and that causes problems.
Big cancer.
I think he's going to empower a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys on the roster that probably felt like they were in the background, so to speak, and now they see that they have a really good opportunity, and those guys have done everything the right way. So I think he's going to empower them, give them the confidence to move forward, and really help this program.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow. So somebody must have had a talk with him between this press conference and that last press conference. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to give the kids confidence. You're giving them confidence. You can't go in there bashing them before the season start. We're not saying positive things about them. I thought he evidently someone had a talk with him. Maybe he's watching the show, or maybe someone told him about the show. But he's definitely this press conference is definitely different from the first one.
Okay, that's what you're saying. All right. I like what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's continue on.
Ofer's been such a breath of fresh air as well. I mean, there's a language barrier there for sure to try to navigate in terms of teaching him, but he's got such great instincts for the game. And each and every day when we come out there, I feel like Ofer is getting better, and he's not trying to force anything. He's just letting the game come to him, but he does so many things for us. When at first you looked at him, you're like, well, this is a big, strong, this is a man's league. Is he going to be able to help us? And we've really prioritized, diet, nutrition, and the weight room with him. And once he gets that strength, he's going to be a force because he's got a natural instinct for the game. So he's going to, at first you thought, well, maybe he's not going to get very many, minutes, and we're going to develop him. But we're looking at Ofri as playing a significant role.
All right, looking at that, it's hard for a guy to jump up in size when you have that initial reaction. Is this because it's being forced on him that he's going to have to play, or what are you seeing there?
Ofrin's a 7-footer.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's lean, though.
Yeah. So at first he was like, wasn't that the one he was saying in the last press conference? Oh, we might find some time on the floor for him, but he's doing a good job battling Jesse. Now he's saying something different. So, being skinny sometimes, you could be strong, but you could do other things. You can get to balls that other people can't get to because you're long. You know what I mean? And you have, you don't have to jump, as hard as everybody else. So, sometimes you can't look at a guy and be like, oh, and judge him. Sometimes you just got to let it play out and see what he does. And then he said, the key thing he said to me was natural instincts. That means he knows where to be. So when you know where to be and angles and stuff like that, the strength stuff will come along later on.
Yeah, there we go. Listen, just a couple more here, but I want to make sure we get to this.
People, Deshaun played overseas for a number of years in Israel, and I think he had some connections there, and people that he got to know, reached out, and we started looking at his film, and he was very intriguing. I wish he'd had another 30 pounds of size to him and mass to him when he showed up, but we'll get there with him, and we're excited to have him, and Deshaun's been great with those connections and bringing him in that fill a void that we needed to fill right away in this summer. So
You mentioned Jeremiah.
Could it be that internationally is going to be a way of the future here? Because right now the staff, you're looking at a couple of guys, Ruoff, I say Rudolph, sorry, House. He played overseas for so long. Is that going to be a way here, at least in this initial fix, if this coaching staff stays together and continues on?
Yeah, because these guys don't have no experience with the AAU world. You know what I mean? Like I have DC, Maryland, Virginia, Philly, Baltimore. I have Ohio. I have connections in Florida. You know what I mean? Like, but I have lead connections. You know what I mean? I have a European connection in Croatia, Slovenia. You know what I mean? Like, because of the experience. You know what I mean? So that's where the experience come in. And I could call 3 AAU programs, the Adidas program. I could call the Nike, the Under Armour. I could call Boo Williams down in Southern Virginia. It's like I could call Team Final. I could call it's a lot of different things I have that you have to be able to use. If Deshaun has a connection, somebody called him, that's cool. That's what it's about. But if you don't show up to DC, where it's 3 hours away for the open run they had in June, early June, in the DC Live and the one at the Mather, and you see other people in your league in here, that's a problem. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them other guys, but like somebody has to show up. You know what I mean? Just to show your face, to see the WV. They think I'm helping because I walk around. You know what I mean? I'm there, but nobody has contacted me to talk to nobody. You know what I mean? So, Larry Harrison was there. Him and Ron Everhart were always asking me questions about kids here. I go look at them. I give them my evaluation. One time, Coach Everhart had a kid end up going to Miami, and he got out the race. He stopped recruiting them, and he asked me to help him get back in. So I called the AAU coach, the guy who was in charge of the program, and got him back in. He got back in, but it was too late. But that's the kind of connections you got to have. You got to know somebody sometimes that knows somebody to get you in. And then you got to figure out who's making a call for him, who's not. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, but you got to work. You know what I mean? You can't be on a golf course and think that's going to work for you. And but it's just you got to put You got to put the work in. You got to make calls and build those relationships. Don't think everybody like you because you played. They don't. It's a whole different animal. Yeah, it's
That's
a whole
what I'm
different
doing.
animal.
I'm making you work right now. So hang on.
Have anyone who can kind of fill that Key Johnson role of being an on-ball defender like that and kind of getting into someone's face up and down the court?
Kobe's probably the guy. You kind of got to stay on Kobe in terms of being aggressive offensively, because you guys have watched him over the course of several years that, that wasn't his game. His confidence is starting to skyrocket. I think I talked about that last time we had a media session. From last year to this year, he's probably by far the most improved guy from a carryover standpoint. And
Wow. All right. What do you say about that? And, Kobe, here's the thing. I keep hearing about personnel issues in the last minute and not getting together and not knowing this team because they didn't get to play in the summertime. Are these obstacles just too great?
It may be, Dale, because one, we don't know what offensive style or defensive style they're going to have. I don't think they know. You know what I mean? That's why he answered the way he answered the first time.
Right.
You're still trying to figure out, practice is whatever practice is. Sometimes practice doesn't translate the games. You can look good and knock down shots in practice and get the games, and you get some adversity, how guys are going to respond. That's the biggest issue he's going to have, is how guys are going to respond, how he's going to respond, how they're going to respond to him. You know what I mean? When things not going right. Are they going to go to DJ? Are they going to go to Deshaun? Are they going to go to Alex Roof? Are all of them going to be on the same page? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a shame it's a lot, but it's going to be difficult. You want him to do well. And, like now he's starting to talk different, as far as, everything has been positive with the players now, as you see in this press conference. And, hopefully he's carrying that over in practice. I remember I coached with Eddie Joy. You know who Eddie Joy? He's coached the Wizards. Eddie Jordan I coached with him in AAU when I first left Georgetown. And I snapped at a player. He stopped me. He just stopped me in front of everybody. He just kind of put his hand down and told me later, it's always stay positive. You know what I mean? Always stay positive. Especially when they're struggling and stuff like that. You always stay positive. So, I've learned some things from a lot of different coaches. You know what I mean? So, that's the thing he has to do. He's going to have to stay positive because, through this press conference, now they're asking him different questions because they're not asking him, how good, he's asking how's everybody doing. He's telling them, he's doing better. He's doing this. He's showed much improvement from last year. That's the conversations he's going to have all year. Can't say, he's not good enough. He ain't making shots. Can't do that. We already know that. We all can see that. It's just now it's the small things that, he got to empower him with. Like he said, he has to empower those players.
I like the word empower. I use it a lot myself, honestly, with all kidding aside. And I think it means a lot. When you empower someone to go ahead and succeed on their own, it's a big deal. Now, a couple more here, and I'll let you get out of here.
Backup point guard at this point, mainly because Jeremiah is, to a point that we still got to get him some reps and figure out where he is. When we start getting into those bye games and those non-conference games. But when things get tough, we know Kobe's got that experience to go out there and run the show. And as a point guard, he's showing that experience. Now, back to the defensive end, he is the guy that, with the length and athleticism that can stay in front of someone. Is he as quick twitch as Keedy? Probably not. But if I had to go to someone to get a stop and lock someone down, that's Kobe Johnson.
You mentioned.
I thought that was a good, just an addition on that, but I want to get to this last one here. Let's go ahead and skip.
Be maybe a deal where you value possessions. Is it going to be one of those types of teams, or is that still to be determined?
Still to be determined. I mean, we got to throw ourselves out against a real opponent. You look at rebounding and especially in a close scrimmage. How do you compare against yourself? So we need to run up against somebody and figure out whether rebounding is legit an issue. We certainly can try to foreshadow that being an issue and drill it each and every day, but we might come, back from a close scrimmage and heck, we're a lot better rebounding team than we thought.
What do you think of that?
I mean, you could drill all you want. Rebounders are rebounders. People don't rebound. Rebounders rebound. I think Jesse's a rebounder. Excuse me. But I think, Jesse rebounds better out of zone because that's what he's comfortable with in the last 4 years. It's the other guys going to help rebound, because now, if they're in man, how the Big 12 is, they spread out. They spread you out, drive it, shoot it, a couple drives, curls to back doors. So it's a lot of are people going to stay locked in that long and rebound? It's going to be long rebounds. Our guards going to leak out. It's like you said, it's hard because you don't know this team. You don't know what those guys can do yet because they're all new. You know what I mean? Like you could sit there and the play. So the play, you know where your guy's going to be. So it's easily to rebound. You know when to leak out. So when you go against different opponents that's pretty good, that have some scout report on you now, things changes. You know what I mean? Like, it's and to go back to Keating, like I thought Kerr was the point guard. You know what I mean? Last week he said Kerr was a passer as a point guard. So it's some personnel issues going on too. So it's a lot of things he has to figure out. And he's trying to figure out. And the only way you can figure out is practice and playing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I'm trying to get this here. Let me see. This is the last one. Let's check this one out. Oh, that's because I can't.
Together,
Are you there? There we go.
With the late start you got, and with all the newcomers you're throwing together, you're a long way from what Kansas is going through right now, or some of the other teams in the league. What's fair to expect of this team as it moves along?
I don't even think it's fair to really, have those conversations yet. We certainly, the ultimate goal is to get to the NCAA tournament with the best possible seed. And that's, I had those guys get together and do their team goals. And so many times over the years, I've seen the lofty goals, and nobody really put together the goals and the system in place to get there. So I told those guys, and I saw as leaders, I said, when you do that and you have those conversations, put some systems in place. Put some numbers in place in terms of like offensive efficiencies, turnovers, how many you want to limit to, or whatever those things are.
That's all good stuff and everything, but it's like, first of all, he says it's not fair to evaluate yet. Like I said, but go back to my earlier question, is it too late then? Because, the clock has started. The games are coming. And, you better get them ready, and you better ship them in shape, and you better figure out who you are, and you better figure out where you want to go. And I do like what he says about, writing stuff down. I always believed in visualization. God bless you. But I always believed in visualization and a way to get there, knowing how to get there. So I do believe in that. But at the same time, I got a half and half answer. Like, it's not fair. Well, this is Division I, Power 5. You got to get it's fair to ask because people want to know, because there's just it's Power 5 and it's too much money involved.
It was he left everything too wide open, just like you just said. He left everything too wide open, and that's where the confidence has to come in. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get there, is what he should have said. We're gonna get there. Kansas has been together. His coach been there 20 years. Great coach. I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? It's my first year. I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna work my way there. How fast I'm gonna do it, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's like, Kansas is a different beast. They got different players, but you recruited these players, and they all late. You had 3 or 4 guys leave.
I think that's going to be the biggest.
Yeah.
Biggest thing
the biggest for me was Mitchell.
Yeah.
You was counting on Mitchell to come back, and Mitchell would have helped ease a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Because he can score and rebound. He proved it. He done it. You know what I mean? but then everything else would have been, all kind of off kilter until you settle in. But you can give it to Mitchell and he can make something happen. Now you don't know who you're going to give it to. You don't know what you're going to run on offense. You don't know what you're going to do on defense. You don't know what that person's going to do now. You don't know what that person's going to do. You don't know who your defenders are. It's just, he's just in an I don't know situation.
Yes.
He just got to be, when he's talking, oh, we're going to get there. If we're not there yet, we got to get there. We're going to get there. You know what I mean? I don't know if he will. I'm not saying he won't. I just don't know if he will. From his lack of confidence in these interviews is not helpful. It's better than this first time. But as you hear, there's a depth issue. There's a personnel issue. The team is not put together that well. You got guys that's coming from other teams that wasn't that good. They were good pieces for a couple minutes here and there, but now you turn them into starters in the Big 12. Ooh, that's tough.
See, and here's what I guess I'm trying to get at, because I know coaches, and coaching in football is the same as coaching in basketball for the same thing, relationships and understanding where the pieces go in the puzzle. So when I sit there, I say, okay, I'm Josh Eilert. I look to my left and there's Day, and I look to my right and there's Ruoff. And then I see Jordan McCabe, who just graduated last year. And I've gone, okay, all right, what do you guys think? And what's for all these questions that you just said, the answers are there because you're unsure. They can't answer them either.
Or are they getting those guys so much better with extra time, extra film work? You know what I mean? Like when I started at Georgetown, those guys wasn't ready yet. Roy Hibbert and Jeff Green were freshmen.
Right?
They were freshmen. Jeff, I didn't work with Roy. I worked with Jeff Green all that year. And Jeff Green was a center in high school. So we worked a lot of different things. We worked on a lot of different things. We lose in the NIT. Next year, all work. We get to we was one shot away from the Sweet 16. We lost to Ohio State. We lost to Florida, who ended up winning the championship the first time. And, we was that close, you know what I mean? But it was, I had my own mind. The other coaches had their own mind. And I thought like Coach Thompson, like what needed to be done. How can we help win? How can I help you win? How can I help those players get better to help you win? A lot of guys always talk about, well, they can't do this. They can't do that. They can't do this. We're doing this wrong in the game. We're doing that wrong in the game. Okay, how do we fix it? How do we make it better? What do we do? Do we change what we're doing on offense? Do we change what we're doing on defense? Do we do a position switch? Do we take somebody out? Those are the conversations these guys need to be having. It can't be, okay, Josh, you're saying you're right. You're doing everything right. You're doing this right. Or maybe we need to do this. John empowered all us to have an opinion. Might not take it all the time, but I was blessed. He took mine 99% of the time. And I was blessed because he trusted me that I saw the game like him. I don't know how Josh see the game. I don't know if, like Deshaun sees it the way he does, or DJ sees it the way he does, or Alex Waroof, or I don't know how McCabe sees it. You know what I mean? So there's different ways of, when I was working, I've been around Deshaun, got a good basketball mind. I've been around Alex Roof. I think when I was around him one time, I thought his basketball mind was pretty great. But sometimes already knowing what to do and trying to get people ready to do what you already know is two different things. You know what I mean? So you got to go back to the basics, and sometimes it's just the small things, and it's tough. He's in a tough situation. That's why I think he should have got more veteran guys that's been around. No offense to none of those guys. They were great hires, but right now, if those hires were with Huggy, you good. Now you got all non-experienced guys. I don't have. I have Division I coaching experience. I have Division I playing experience. I went to the Final Four. I won championships in the Big East. I won championships in the MEAC. I know how to win. So do those guys know how to win, or they just know how to play? It's two different things. So, it's putting all that stuff together is hard. I don't care what drills you do. Guys still ain't going to get it when the lights come on.
Well, You know, Dave, that's my whole thing that I'm just saying is these obstacles are so steep. So steep. I mean, you saw a Hall of Famer, Bob Huggins, go what, half the season before he put in that team together? Half the season with a veteran staff.
Yeah.
The veteran staff, and now you want a youngin, and this is to anybody. Josh Eilert, man, my gosh. Dude, you're taking on incredible responsibility. Like the fact, you talked about that Jose Perez kicking him off because you were doing the right things. Yeah, you're doing the right thing, man. But again, they're asking him something that's going to be extremely difficult to get this team mojoing because you can't sit there. You got one guy, Dickey, right there, the guy that's supposed to be over it. I mean, let's just say this, all right? Why did they even go ahead and this is not a hit on Josh, but why did you just hire Deshaun? He's the name. He's the lovable one. He's the one that went to the Final Four. He's the guy that went and played. Okay, so why didn't you just hire him? Because you're doing the same thing. And that's it. This is not a shot at Josh. But what I'm saying is Deshaun's a name. All right, and so if you're going to go with a name and then go with a supervisor above, I'm throwing this out there. I'm not, once again, I am behind Josh Eilert, and I want him to succeed. But again, why? I don't understand this whole picture. I don't get it.
It's, I really don't want to say it on air, but it's the reason. It's all kind of reasons. Just like the reason they don't hire Everhart. I don't think you can control Everhart like you can control a Eilert.
Okay.
I think some people could tell him what to do or what not to do. And Everhart, they probably felt he's old enough where he's just going to be set in his ways and he's going to be this, he's going to be that, which is most men are. But it's I think it's that's a deep rooted question for West Virginia, period.
But it's one that should be asked, and there's not a reporter, maybe besides Bob Hertzel, but have the balls to ask it.
Yeah, no, was Deshaun on he wasn't on the staff last year, so that's one of the reasons why they probably went with somebody on. I mean, we talked about somebody on staff.
I was just throwing his name out there.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying as as a former player, because you hire all these other former players. The McCabe thing is like way off base. You keep. I'm sure. He was told to keep DJ and Alex Roof just stepped into the situation. And if I was Deshaun, I would have stayed with the NBA. I mean, like he probably was not making as much money. He wanted to be back in Morgantown and stuff like that. At the end of the day, NBA is NBA. You move up faster in the NBA than you do in college. And moving up in college, that might not mean staying at Morgantown. So, it's a lot of unknowns and who's making the calls, and you try to please the fan base behind all these former West Virginia players and with no experience, and you know what I mean. Like it's like it's tough. It's tough.
And everybody wants to say to me, D, and they say, well, it's just an interim position. And if he has success, he can go ahead and continue on, which I'm saying, I hope Josh Eilert succeeds. All right. I also know how tough it is to go ahead when a Hall of Famer has a tough time putting a team that hasn't played together half a season or more, all right, to get them to play together. And now you're asking it for, I mean, it's almost like it's a cruel position. It's a cruel ask. It's not Josh Eilert's fault.
No, it's not his fault at all. It's just like, you hire within to keep the guys you had before. So you hire within, the guys you had before left. That says something right there too. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like, I don't know, if he's there with position coach, but like something wasn't right. You know what I mean? And you push Everhart out of the way and bring in McCabe. I mean, like, even if, like, why not keep, if you do go with Josh, why not keep Everhart? You know what I mean? Like, why would you push him out and bring in McCabe? The guy that left West Virginia.
I mean, then you go and hire a guy to come over and be the old guy in the room.
Right. That could have been Everhart. He's still an older guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's at the end of the day, it's like you don't need a bunch of workout guys to be good. You need people that know what they're doing to be good. You know what I mean? So, why didn't you bring in Jawan Staten instead of McCabe? You know what I mean? Like, it's like the guy who was on staff before, who was a workout guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know Hugs and they keep, they take care of their own, but West Virginia is West Virginia. I'm always going to be West Virginia. You always going to be West Virginia. Don't act like that's the only West Virginia. There's Beeline guys, there's Catlett guys, there's Huggy guys, but we all West Virginia. That's how you want us to be. You want us to keep on taking up for you and helping you out, but it doesn't come back the same way.
Okay, and speaking of helping you out, how about your guy? What's your guy's name again? Your 6'11" guy?
Eric Reber.
Have they contacted him yet?
Huh?
Have they contacted him yet?
I don't think so.
WV.
I don't think so.
Will you pick up a phone and call one of those dudes? Day, he'll answer, man, and be like, hey, listen, I got this dude. Oh, by the way, I'm trading him. He has 25 scholarship offers, and I'd love for you to take a look at him because you might offer him too.
Definitely I'll offer him if you see him play. He's that good.
Well, I saw his videos you sent me, but I can judge that he looks pretty tall. I know that.
He's 6'11", size 19 shoe.
Yeah, he looks
a big guy. He's a big kid. His father's 6'7", 6'8", by my height.
And again, I don't want people to understand or think that I'm sitting here hoping that Josh does poorly. What I'm saying is, if Josh is questioning in the press conference, and he did do better than the first time, I'll give you that. But if he's questioning, leaving things open and wide, and it's not a great direction. It's oblique. It's oblique, and that means that's oblique direction you're headed to. And you better figure it out. You better figure out your philosophy, and you better on offense. You better figure out your philosophy on defense, and you better figure. Again, how many guys do they have on their team right now?
They're down 11 or 12 now.
Is it 11 or 12? Okay, so you're talking about doing 5-on-5, but what happens when Jesse Edwards gets tired? What happens? You just don't have those big bodies, do you? Am I wrong here?
Yeah, that's another issue. Like the other kid, they say he might not play now. He might have to play just because. You know what I mean? You gotta get everybody ready, no matter what. You know what I mean? It's like that's what you just have to get everybody up to speed. It'll take some longer, but like if you have your, you can't. You replace a legend, and replacing a legend, you still have to do your own thing. It got to be you. If you don't do you, it ain't gonna work. If he doesn't do what he does, I don't know what philosophies he has in his mind. Doing what you've done before won't work. Like I think the beauty of coaching with John Thompson III was he did the Princeton. He didn't do nothing his father did. We didn't even work on defense that much. You know what I mean? It was like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we just did shell defense, and he had me, and he didn't ask me to do it. I took this job was when we played other teams, I watched all the players' plays and their moves. So I had to go to every player and who it is going to guard. This is what he's going to do. This is what he like to do. This is when they're going to do this. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So it's just like, you know what I mean? So we prepared for those guys that way, and then like we played like North Carolina, and we were struggling. So we went to a matchup in the middle of the game. Didn't know what we were doing. The kids didn't know what we were doing. We didn't practice it. We just told them to communicate, and we made it look like a man and confused North Carolina, and we ended up beating them in the Sweet 16. So sometimes you just gotta be creative, and you just gotta think of something real quick, and hopefully they'll get it. If they don't, you can still adjust. You still have timeouts. So it's just it's that, but that comes with experience of the game and the game flow. You can't. Everything is not going to be what you worked on. Sometimes you might have to go off script a little bit. Just like I was watching in Fox News today, was talking about Matt Jones for the Patriots. Everybody else in the league has a guy that can run and throw the ball. Matt Jones is in the pocket. It's different. You need somebody to move around, get off script. You know what I mean? A little bit. So that's the same with basketball. Sometimes things get off. You might have to do something different and see how it works and talk it out.
Yeah. Well, here's another question just popped in my head. I got to let you go because we could be doing this all day long. Who's going to do the scouting? You just said it, and it just popped in my head. I mean, I remember each coach did it for Bob Huggins. Each coach would go and rotate, and they take turns doing the scouting. But is Jordan McCabe going to know scouting?
Yeah, it's like when I first started.
Think he going to do it? Is he going to do scouting?
It's going to have to be Roof. I think Roof and Butler and DJ. You know what I mean? Like when I was with Georgetown, this is how. So when I did my scouting for John, so he trusted me enough to do it, but I didn't have to do it because I did mine personally for him, and he would write the stuff on a board that I wrote down. I see him pull his papers out, and he'll write the stuff on the board. So when he goes to look at film, and I gave him my report, he knows what he's looking at. So he got comfortable with that. Then when I left, I was at Morgan. I did scouts at Morgan, and we beat a couple teams. And I came back. There was another coach that wasn't strong enough. He was, so the other coaches would ask me to do his scout for him. So I helped him out with a scout, and I did a scout. And the kids trusted it. I grew when I did mine with Morgan. From the first and the second. I was trying to do it like the other two guys. I'll say, you know what? I got to do it like me. My scout. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You got to do it what you see. You got to trust your eyes, and and that's kind of hard because you can, before we had the computers, how did you put a DVD in? And I was listening to the commentary, and I was like, that's not right. That didn't happen. So I started cutting the sound off until they gave me a computer. You know what I mean? And I could stop and go back and pick up things and stuff like that. And it's tedious, And I knew Larry Harrison used to do a lot of it, and I used to look at it and stuff like that, and we'd have conversations and stuff, just like we're talking now. And sometimes I might pick up something from you when you talk about football. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because we're talking. And the same thing with me and him. He'll ask questions and stuff like that. I used to get calls from scouts in the NBA asking about players and from other teams and what did I think and stuff like that. So it's more than just say, oh, he's a good shooter. If he likes to go this way, he chooses to go that way. He does this. You know what I mean? So, he doesn't like pressure. So it's a lot that goes along with this, and I'm sure they're going to use some of their old scouts. But you're right. I don't know who's going to do what because it's not an experienced scouting team. You know what I mean? Like I know, like even with Josh, he was only 1 year into it. So.
I mean, I'm sitting here. There's just so many things that I just think this is a really tough ask, and I think obviously we're going to have to go ahead. What was the question? As Mike Rollins said, it's too late for the transfer portal, right? That's too late. That's shut off. That's started. Yeah, it's all too late for that. And you got what you got, and you got to find out what you got and go with what you got. I just think that I'm just worried that they're going to be able to make it through the season with all their starters. I mean, this is if you had to say, if you're going to go with a bench, how many guys on the bench would they go with on this, you think? 7?
Yeah, I think right now they might be 7 deep, maybe, 7 quality players, but early on they're going to have to play everybody to see where everybody is, That's why I said before, when they was doing all the portal stuff, they should have went high school too. At least you have some young guys. You got some young guys.
Well, I think that's because of Hugs last year, right?
Yeah, but even in June, this guy's late. This guy's late, and so you might find a guy. You might find a gym. You know what I mean? Might find a practice player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. GP, listen, we got a lot more time to talk about this, but I like it when we just go ahead and break it down and just start talking real.
Yeah.
And because these are real challenges for him. And again, I want everyone to know that, DP, you are all for WVU. I'm all for WVU. But the realities are the realities, and we always tell the truth, man. We're just going to say it out. And this is really tough.
Man, we're not wishing bad on nobody. We want him to win. We want WVU to win every sport. I wear my WVU stuff to school. I got so much WVU stuff. Everybody knows. I got a stick on my car. I got my number on the back of my phone. You know what I mean? I got it everywhere. And people associate with me with West Virginia, especially in this area. They know. They all know. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm not repping nobody else. I am not repping no other. It's hard for me to wear even my players I work with their stuff because I'm West Virginia. 30 years ago, I played there. I went in the Hall of Fame. I am nothing but West Virginia. I'm never going against West Virginia. The only time I was going against West Virginia when I was coaching at Georgetown.
That's right. And that's okay.
And that's okay, right? It's okay. I tried to be an employee at West Virginia first, and I've been trying, so it wasn't my fault.
And listen, I'm going to tell you this, all right? There's two things, all right? Number one is it's a critter, okay? And number two, there's another guy that has more gear than you do, but it's Oregon's, and that's Pat Biondo.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the lime green shoes, the football helmets, the football uniform. I'll wear a football uniform. I'll never wear a football uniform. I'll wear one of theirs. I might get a motorcycle or bicycle and put one of their helmets on and ride around the neighborhood.
I don't know what they said. They said they got like so many different combinations that it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
You know, whatever. But hey, I would know this as I would love it if WVU football would wear their traditional colors once. So we're 4 or 5 games in the season, and they haven't worn their traditional uniforms once. So I don't know if they still have traditional uniforms.
Let's say this. The guy's doing a pretty good job this year.
Who, Neil?
Yeah.
Well, right now, yeah. I've been giving kudos with kudos and kudos, man.
I know you are. I'm just saying. I just want to put it out there too, because I was a little worried too, like everybody else. But he's doing a good job. So,
I think so far. Okay, so far.
So
this
far.
is the best coaching I've ever seen him do personally. In the 5 years that I've watched him, 3 of those years I was up close, watched him very closely. Last year I separated and watched from TV and all that, but knowing who he is and all that, this is the year that I see him coaching like a coach that's probably I'm not gonna say the seat's on fire for him, but his pants are on fire, man, and he's on fire for winning.
It's definitely on fire. It's been on fire. Everybody in the national news says it's on fire. And I'm gonna say one more thing. Like you coached football, I coached basketball, coached it at high level. When we're talking about high level play and coach. We're not talking about as a fan that what they should win every game. Yeah, we want them to win every game, but in reality, we're just talking about reality and facts. We're never going against West Virginia, but we see what we see, and sometimes we have questions on what we see as coaches, former players, whatever you want to call it. We study. When we do, I know Darryl does the tape and he studies what he needs to study with football. When the basketball season, I study tape. I study the opponent and then study us. And, we see things. And a lot of things we see, especially during the basketball season and pregame podcast, it showed up.
Yeah, it did.
It showed up.
I was relying on you guys, but I was strutting around with it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said. Hey, Huggy, that's what we said.
Yeah. So
all right, man. Well, let's DP, Darryl Prue, WVU Hall of Fame, man. We'll have you back on real soon, whenever you can. We love having you. Resident basketball starting to kick up, man. So we're gonna get it rolling again.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
All right, brother. Take care now.
All right, boss.
Have a good one. See you.
You too.
All right, Darryl Prue, man. Love it. All right, and listen, that was probably could have gotten off a half an hour ago, but we just went in there deep and talking about the situation that Josh Eilert and staff find themselves in. So it's going to be, I said it, I said Deion Sanders and Josh Eilert are the 2 biggest college experiences, experimental this year, and we'll see how it goes. All right, here we go. That's it right there. Let's pause it up and jack it up because it is network time. I love the network. Brickside Bar and Grill. Eat local. Rob Davis, Bridgeport, West Virginia. Then you got the Tap House there with Mel right there in Oakland Street in Morgantown. And Route 22 Sports Bar up there bottoms up, and those 12 50-inch screen TVs. Weirton, West Virginia. The Mason Jar, barbecue and more. Fairmont, Steve Reese, what's up there? Oh, the barbecue, baby. And the Pitch, Sports Bar and Grill down in Dunbar. Chef Paul, they did a big thing on his site today, talking about who they are and what they're doing and their fine dining. Check it out. It's really good. Okay, you got Legends Sports Bar and Grill. Aaron Gizzy out there in Lakeview. Hit those links, man, and get out there and do some golfing before it gets too late. And you got Kegler Sports Bar and Grill, Morgantown Royalty, Jerry, Greg, Steve Lorenz. Love you guys, man. Love the family. Love everything. Kegler's, Great Wings, the Wolfman Burger. You got to get it. You got to try it. Jimbo's Place there at Elkins and Buckhannon. Appreciate you, Jimmy Pointer. Appreciate everybody out there. Love the food. Love the atmosphere. Good times. I see you guys got lots of music all the time playing, so that's really cool. Danny's down there in Princeton. Yeah, man. Loyal Mountaineers. Always out there. Very, very astute, too. I get a lot of people contacting me down there in Princeton, talking WVU football. Very astute in your observations. And then you got Calacino's right there in Beckley, West Virginia. Pizzeria and Sports Bar. Love the za. And Calacino's in Beckley. It's one place to go when you're in Beckley, and that's Calacino's. And you got Cantrell's River City Grill and Pub in Hinton, West Virginia, right on the river. So cool. Can't wait to hang out there. And you got of course, Archies up there in Pittsburgh, PA, East Carson Street. Great wings, great cool. Just a cool place, cool environment, and it's very, very fun to go there. And then you have, of course, the Pallet Sports Bar in Scott Depot, Taze Valley, and it's great. It's got all kinds of craft beers, cool place to hang out. It's a really cool, chill vibe, good food, good times at the Pallet. And last but not least, we have the Jar Restaurant and Hotspot, just changed over for the Mason Jar Saloon. New ownership, taking it on their own, making it their own, and doing a fantastic job. Love it. Shout out to all the WolfMan's Call Network. We really appreciate you, and we can't wait, or I can't wait to come in and to enjoy your establishment. That's for sure. Alrighty. Anybody have anything for the good of the cause? Anybody here you can always join the conversation. All you got to do is let me know. You got to just let me know, and I will let you on, or you can go ahead and you can write me anything that you like. People contact me all the time through social media. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and retweet it. It doesn't matter if it's live or not. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share it. It doesn't matter if it's live or not. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the WolfMan's Call Network right there at Wolfly64 on YouTube. We got some more things, some more areas that we'll be coming out of. I'm not going to mention them right now, but I know that we're getting a website and a whole bunch of things are just getting really cool. We're really growing. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate all your support. Hope you're enjoying this bye week that we've had. We went over the football, got some guys. Pat Biondo, what a guest. He's a Mountaineer. He's also an Oregon Duck, and he's also a Buffalonian, so I love him for all three of them. And, the truth is that he was a great Mountaineer, great dude, man. So appreciate him coming on the show today. DP, WVU Hall of Fame. He just told you he's a Mountaineer through and through, WVU Hall of Fame hooper, wears the gear, does nothing but supports WVU. Hey, will somebody please tell Josh Eilert, Deshaun, Alex Ruoff, or Jordan McCabe that Darryl Prue, Hall of Fame WVU, is personally training a 6'11", forward. All right, I'm not sure if he's a center. I think he might be a center, but personally training him, who has 25 scholarship offers. Give him a call. Say what's up. What's up, DP? What's up, Hall of Famer? What's up, WVU? What's up? Right? What you got there, man? Let's call, because you know what? He's training them. He can feed them. And he can feed them all the good stuff about WVU. Who's the best center in the land? That is offensive lineman, center. Well, that could only be one. And that, of course, is Zach Frazier.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
Have a great
We
night.
have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Big Box Beverages, the world's tastiest portable punch, as seen on Shark Tank. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.